He's going to let us down once again. Sorry about that. Let's jump into our first topic. What it do, baby? We back like we never left. Welcome back to the RouG Pod. It's your man Hendo here, and I hear my co-host running. What's the problem, sir?
You hit the intro, and I love the intro, and I was like, let me check out the chat. And I see people in there, everybody ready for the show. And I was like, let me check my points. And that shit came back and it says 0.
It's the first day of a new month.
I don't care, Hendo. Like I have yet to receive any co-host points.
False.
They're backdated for months.
False. You got co-host points last month.
How many?
2,000.
I'm disgusted. We're about to strike in here.
What? All right, I'll up the points. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, you say that every time.
But you got points last month. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I'm doing the things that you're asking.
What up, Chef?
And I'm still getting yelled at.
What up, Chris? I don't. First of all, I don't yell. That's not a thing that's ever happened. Listen to Joey. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate you, man.
What's going on, Brandon? What's up, Joey?
Not that one.
Okay. I'm just going through the chat. And
not the next one either. That next one's bullshit.
Saying,
what's going on? Like towards the bottom.
Reg, what's going on, Julian? Appreciate you for dropping through. I don't know what you mean. Like, I got to go through them first. I can't just start skipping things. What's going on, Will G? Said I'm sitting in the back of the class like the Ravens, PQ, and RO on Marlowe after game feed. I don't even watch that clown, to be honest with you. Like, he just some of the things he say are just so out of this world. Yeah. It just makes me just like, he can't be for real. All this has to be fake and for camera. So, what's going on, Matt? How you feeling? Appreciate you from dropping through. Brandon Buck is in the house early. Did the Cardinals win? Is that why you're here early?
No, very much no.
I mean, I bet against them. So, good times. Appreciate you for dropping through. Anyway, Brandon E, what's going on, Brandon? Long time no see. Yes, we got it covered.
Also sent you something in the private chat.
I saw that. That's why I
just wanted to make sure.
That's why I got on stream laughing, because I saw it and was like, there's just no way. Yeah. Is this what you're talking about? Ravens all day? Yes, Ravens all day.
I said not that one either. I said that one BS. Skip that one.
No. Malik B, what's going on? What's good? Flock Chin Boo. Mr. Positivity, appreciate you coming back. It says, what's up, Hendo? In chat, great win. And Bradney as well. We got the Chef 87 up in here. Appreciate you, bruh. Who else? We got my guy Chris. I thought Chris was gonna stop through since I dropped the link in the Twitter chat. I did. It was a hope.
You should have been more specific as to what that was for.
I figured that they would know.
Sometimes people like to not know.
Facts, that's true. We got Yolanda B in the house. What's going on, Yolanda? We got Danny. What's going on? Yes, it feels so good to be on top of the division, which we are. Block Nation Speaks, my man DJ. What's going on? Forget that E, because I know you want to say something.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, man. DJ is a nice dude. I like his show. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Okay, because I'm so used to it now. Whenever I see somebody else in chat spell your name wrong, I'm just like, please don't let them blow up. Please don't let them blow up. Please don't let them blow up.
I mean, it's just disrespectful, but I mean, ain't nobody in the chat talking about what up, Hendo, right? They spell your name right.
No, some people spell it with a U, and they do call me Hindu, even though it's a O. When I came up in school, O made an O sound, not a ooh, unless it was two of them. That's right. Hey, Barty. All right. Listen, let's get into here what we came here for, because, like you said, we have to do a tight 45.
I know what I said. But
I didn't have my glasses on. Is that not what you said?
Nah, that's not what I said.
All right. We're here to do a tight. Was it 55?
Nah.
All right. Well,
lower.
50. All right. So we are here now, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And also for my audio listeners, I like to say we'll be here tomorrow morning, releasing a new one. I'm back on my game. I'm back on my grind with the audio side. Just some things happening in unfortunate circumstances. My hunger has now ramped up a little bit, but let's jump into this Ravens action. What's going on? Jose, Lunch Break Hot Take. Make sure you go over there and check them news out. Dope content. If you like what I'm doing, I'm just a replication of what they do.
I mean, I feel like that's false, but that's all right.
Just to a lesser scale.
Nah, I don't think so.
Ravens be more 76. What's going on? They saying 2 hour stream, B.
No, when you say they, one person said that.
No, actually, several people.
Nah,
several people.
I don't see anybody else saying that.
2 hour stream.
Yolanda don't count.
2 hour stream.
You know Basil and Reginald. They talking about their own channel.
No, we were just on their stream and they said no 2 hours, so that's not how it goes. So.
Now they've had to change of heart.
Okay.
All right. Well, next time it's going to be a 2 hour stream.
All right, so we starting the show off proper. Like, appreciate y'all. $20 tip from my man Corey H, saying no matter what it was a great team win. Okay, I mean, I feel that way. Like,
nah, Yolanda, you see, because you're talking to the third person now, and that means you definitely don't count.
What's up, Mr. Galloway?
What up, Dre?
I mean, Chris, you jump on stuff. Oh, no. It's not gonna happen. No, all right, well, listen.
Well, the start of hour 2 means at the 1 hour mark. So I'll hop out. Chris can hop in, and y'all can keep it moving.
Thanks. All right, we're gonna do that. So let's jump into this topic. Let's jump into these topics and get this thing going. The Baltimore Ravens defeated the Cleveland Browns 28-3 in a very exciting game. Like, listen, when I tell you this game is so exciting, I started sweeping the floor. I started mopping. It just got to a point I lost track and forgot a football game was on. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even trying to be funny. I forgot that a football game was on. And I was like, oh, snap. They're playing. And that's how bad this game started. But to me, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this game? I know the Ravens aren't your team.
I didn't watch that.
You didn't watch the game?
No, I was watching the Panthers. I watched some of it. And I watched the highlights and whatnot. It's not a recap. Okay, Chef. You don't have to be. I appreciate the thought, but you don't have to patronize me.
Right, they were looking better.
They lost to an 0-3 team.
You were
even though they scored a touchdown on defense, forced another turnover. I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Okay.
Baltimore, on the other hand, they got over that backup curse. They beat DTR. Lamar, outside of the ball security issues, had a great day. O-line needs some work.
I mean, we're down to the backups.
I don't care. Next man up. That's what y'all say, right? Isn't it? Oh, whenever you talk about who Baltimore beats, if it's a soft schedule or anything like that, it's always, hey, you play who's on your schedule and next man up, all this nonsense. All right, man, they're all professionals. That's who you chose to have on your team. Ain't nobody make you have those guys.
I mean, me as a start, I didn't choose some of them guys.
Oh well,
Yeah, EDC chose
the collective you.
The collective me. Okay,
yes, Eric chose them. All right, and you just got to live with it. Not a great run game, but I guess as a collective, they're okay. They get the job done. I guess they desperately need to get healthy, which unfortunately for the Baltimore Ravens means that not unfortunately, but for the Baltimore Ravens means they need to fire everybody and get a whole new crew in there from GM on down, because it wasn't just Saunders. It's not a one-man thing. It's a whole organizational thing. We've been saying for years they need a whole philosophical shift over there in Baltimore, because it can't be coincidence that all of your players are continuously getting hurt like this. But hey, they got the win for today. Everybody else in your division got caught a beat down, so it's a good day in Ravenland. Or
I'm sorry, the same couldn't be said about Panthers Nation.
Yeah, I know. You got two goddamn minutes left. I'll start talking about the Panthers.
I'm trying to give Cuzzo props. Like little cousins, my little cousins, I'm trying to give props. I told you, like, the Panthers are my other team. I was happy. You was
happy they lost?
No, you didn't let me finish. I was happy with the direction that they were going, and even though I picked the Vikings to win, I would have took that L in the Pick'ems League for y'all to get that win. I mean, I love the Panthers. Like that's the Cuzzos, that's the little brothers. That's the tag-alongs.
Yeah, you keep saying things like that, but like a lot of the issues that are going on in Carolina are the exact same issues going on in Baltimore. You can't protect your quarterback. Apparently you still ain't got no receivers. I will say the defense is better in Baltimore. The defense is better. Carolina can't stop nobody. But it's all right. If you have a 6th-year quarterback, we have a quarterback going into who played his 3rd game today is the real difference.
Yes, and I think there was an argument that was being had in Discord, and somebody was saying if other teams had certain quarterbacks, but we have Lamar, so I think that is the discernible.
So we're basically the same, though.
We are, except for at the most important position on the field.
Yeah, but basically the same.
No,
like even with that, just basically they're identical.
I mean, we got Hamilton, y'all got Chin, y'all got Brian Burns.
Wow, what's going on over there?
Oh man, what is that?
I don't know. What is that?
I don't know what that is either.
You should know these things. This is your stream.
Bruh. I don't know. Told you some people living in here with me. I don't maybe they try to communicate. I have no idea. But
Chris, sometimes when you're just joking, it hurts. Okay, I just want to put that out there for you.
Who, me?
No, Chris.
Oh. You haven't took your quarterback? Listen. Yeah, you do. I like Bryce Young though.
Bryce, listen, my nephew. Bryce is he's got it. He's got all the ability. You can see it.
Yes, he does.
And it's just a matter at this point of it's just a waiting game for him to start eliminating some of the mental and physical mistakes, and the O-line to come along and the play calling to come along. Didn't really think that'd be an issue. But also the talent at wide receiver. But when it all comes together, he's going to be fantastic. Screw y'all Ravens fans. All right. I want to hear it no more.
So to kind of synopsize, kind of encapsulate what you're saying is we're basically the same team except for we can score points. Stop people.
We can score points as well, sir. Just not as many of them.
Okay.
Just not as many. And sometimes not offensively.
All right.
All the time not offensively, actually.
So speaking of you saying that we need to upgrade certain positions and not and kind of chill on those injuries, because listen, there are injuries, it seems to be every game. And there were 2 that I wanted to go over because in the stream earlier with Big Rage, we were speaking about David Ojabo and Odafe Owe. So they were asking questions like what's going on? Odafe Owe?
And who was the other
David Ojabo.
Do they play football?
Yes, but
where?
But listen, I'm about.
I don't like for which organization.
Listen,
are they pros?
They are very much so pros, sir. They are linebackers, edge rushers for the Baltimore Ravens. And as a matter of fact, I just got a message from a scout, because my insiders would give me information from time to time, and they sent me this on what happened. And I've affectionately coined them the O&O Express. So when myself and this executive corresponds with one another, this is how we address them, the O&O Express. So they sent me this correspondence here to share with you all. This is an exclusive. You will not. What's so funny? I'm not looking at the chat, so
I'm not looking at the chat either.
I'm sorry. This is an exclusive. You will not get this on any other channel, because I don't think that they had the relationship that I have with this individual. So do not share this with anybody else. This is information I will get in trouble for sharing. I'm just saying. I will get in trouble for sharing this information. Sorry. Yes, for all of you waiting on a pass rush, the O&O Express has been delayed. It seems to be stuck somewhere in the cold. I don't know. They need to dig themselves out. David Ajabo seems to be looking for help. Odafe always seems confused about where he's going. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened. So I'm just don't tell anybody I shared that information with you.
Okay,
that's all that I'm asking.
It's right in here. That's why it's RouG Family.
That's right.
It's RouG Family.
Yes, it was. All right. Enough joking now. Let's rail us back and get serious. Yeah, listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I picked that particular picture for a reason. Like, I searched through a whole bunch of pictures, and I was like, "That's the one." That's the one. And Chris, you figured it out. All right, back to the game.
Y'all got like 4 sacks today.
Enough. We did. Listen, the team was amazing. So
0 of them coming from the edge rushers. I don't know what the expressions are about or anything like.
No, because you always gotta throw shots.
I'm not throwing. How was I throwing shots? They got 4 sacks. None of them were from the edge rushers. That's on me.
Nah, but you being smart.
I'm throwing shots.
Yeah, man, because you saying we got all of these edge rushers and we
invested
all of this capital in it, and none of them are producing.
I didn't say any of that. If I recall, I asked you who those gentlemen were that you were referring to.
Nobody. All right, let's jump to these stats. We have Lamar Jackson, who was 15 for 19, 186 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He also had 27 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. Y'all boy Justice Hill, I give it to him. Justice Hill had a 55-yard run, but your man's got called for the hold and just nullified that and took all the wind out of his sails.
Didn't happen then, did it?
This is factually correct. Also, we had Mark Andrews finally showing up for my fantasy team. He had 5 receptions for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. I was about to trade him to you, Bradley. I was like, I'm tired of this.
You are a goddamn liar. I'm leaving, man. Fuck this. All right, I'm out.
Well, excuse me for that. Anywho, Roquan Smith led the team with 10 tackles. What is that noise? Like, this is my computer playing tricks on me. Hey, Bradley, you want to get back in here? Anyway, Kyle Hamilton also had 5 total tackles, 5 solo. He had a pass defense and interception to seal the game. I guess not to seal the game. I guess to end the game, because Dorian, whatever his name is, DTR, was horrible. And I don't want to take anything away from that young man. Listen, the Baltimore Ravens went in playing the #1 defense in the NFL and did what they needed to do to get this win. I know a lot of Ravens fans aren't happy. I know a lot of Ravens fans aren't happy or content with the win.
Ravens fans spoiled as fuck. You mad about a 25-point win now? That's what you're telling
me? I'm not mad about anything, sir. I'm just saying there are a lot of Ravens fans that just felt like the offense is not looking the way that it should look in Week 4 of the NFL season. That's all I'm saying.
The offense is looking exactly the way Jonathan Harbaugh wants it to look. Doesn't matter. Apparently, it doesn't matter who your offensive coordinator is. And that's just the way they want to play.
Chenbu Ajabo got a sack. You talking about game 1? And then he got hurt and only played part of game 2. and then came back and then went out in game 3. And now he's out for at least the next 4 weeks. So we're going to say that. And the 1 sack from last year.
I was mightily confused as to what Chen was talking about.
He was talking about, there are a lot of people. Listen, there's a debate going on right now on Twitter amongst the Ravens flock. I don't know why we just can't seem to get along as a whole. We always fight about something. Like the Ravens flock always has to fight something. Always have to find something to fight about. And today they're fighting about we should have not picked David Ojabo and went out and got George Pickens.
No shit.
Now, no, this is the crazy part. The crazy part to me is there are people saying, who is George Pickens and what has he done in this league?
Mm-hmm. More than David Ojabo.
Facts.
That's kind of the end of the argument right there, right?
You would think that it was, but they want to say, oh, he would be the number 4 receiver on the Ravens right now.
Wait. Who are the three ahead of him?
Of course, they don't say. They just like to throw. They like to throw stuff out there. They said he's mid. They said he has average numbers, even though he would have led the team in receiving last year. But
it's amazing.
It is, especially with the quarterback situation over there. But that's the fight that's going on. So you have your David Ojabo supporters saying, I think the funniest thing to me is when the people say, hey, if he hadn't got healthy, he'd been a first-round pick. Well, guess what? He wasn't healthy. He got hurt right before the draft.
And he wasn't a first-round pick either.
He wasn't. He was a byproduct of having Aiden Hutchinson on one side.
I'm super tired of hearing it. Just very, very tired.
Yeah, that's what they do to me sometimes. Then they wonder why they don't get co-hosts.
Yeah, okay. You sound like the NCAA now. And like, now you wonder why you don't get paid after you haven't been paying me for the past 3 years.
Right, Jose. They meant number 4 all time on his team.
I'm not even sure that's accurate. To be being honest, it's not a rich tradition of pass catchers in Baltimore.
It is not. It is not. I don't understand what the fast.
Y'all call Steve Smith Ravens legend. Steve Smith.
He is a Ravens legend.
No, he's not.
Listen, we cling on to those.
I know. I'm saying he has basically the same numbers as Hollywood, and y'all kicked him out. But Steve Smith is a legend.
Listen, if you know your Ravens history, the Ravens all-time leading receiver is Derek Mason with 7,748 yards. Justin Jefferson will surpass that total this year sometime. And he's going into what, year 4?
Yeah, I believe so. This is year 4.
Right. In his 4th year, he will surpass our all-time leading receiver in yardage. So, we don't have a very high barometer. Like, we don't have a high bar. Like, we wave around here somewhere. So, if we can get a dude to come in here and do 2-3 good years, why do you think we love Anquan Bolden so much?
I gotta tell you, man, like, props to Baltimore, though, because how in the hell you won 2 Super Bowls without ever fielding an NFL offense is beyond me.
I mean, we had one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Still, how many rings that win you?
You know what? When I think about that, you're right. Because I've always said it was either the 04-06 team, I think was better defensively. And with all those outstanding Hall of Fame defenses, we only won 1 title because we couldn't score.
Yeah, because you handed the ball to what's his name, Kyle Bowler on the other side, and they had to just beg. Like, they didn't even yell at him; they had to beg and plead with him to just not give the other team points.
Yeah, he did.
They were out there prepared to win games with the 0 points from their offense every week.
This is facts. And we had Elvis Gerback that cried on the field.
Oh, Elvis.
Oh, there's that comment. Yes, Hollywood made a great catch today. Guess what? In the future, we're going to be calling him Panthers great Hollywood Brown because he's on their radar.
Listen, Hollywood's a good player.
All right.
I'll take Hollywood.
I wish we had him back.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I never wanted him to go.
Especially since you didn't get shit for him.
We got Tyler Linderbaum. We got a Pro Bowl center, sir.
Yeah, you got to use that pick to fill a self-inflicted wound. Congrats.
Don't you have our self-inflicted wound?
Sure do.
How's that working out for you?
He's working out fine. I mean, it's the 4 people around him that ain't really,
Whatever. Oh, listen.
or 3 of them anyway.
Speaking of these offensive issues that we're having, to you, it seems like the Ravens this season, sans maybe the Cincinnati game, they're starting out slow. And to me, things don't seem to pick up until Greg Monken changes his offense into a Greg Roman style offense. I think that they are starting to rely on, as they have in the past, Lamar, you go make a play. Lamar, you do this. Lamar, you do that. And I think that with history being what it was, I don't think John Harbaugh learned his lesson. And we're going to run into the same issue that we have the last 2 years where Lamar gets hurt. So seeing these problems offensively, seeing these slow starts to games, do you think that the problems are player personnel, or do you think it has something to do with coaching, or maybe a little bit of both?
First of all, Reg, you back the hell off. You had your chance. So no, the answer is no. It's coaching. It's obviously coaching. It's 100% coaching. There are a lot of teams in the league that don't even have the level of talent out there that the Ravens have offensively, who are able to put together a more competent offense than the Ravens. I don't know why it is with John Harbaugh, but it seems like he dislikes offensive football. Like they legit do not want to score. They don't want to win that way.
Right.
And like even in their last game where we all kind of agreed that Lamar didn't have his best game, made some poor decisions and things like that. He started out 10 for 10.
He did.
They moved right down the field. They scored, and then for some reason things kind of went off the rails. And I think that they are not that I think that Todd Monken's a great offensive coordinator, but I think that they are kind of handcuffing him a little bit in terms of just saying, hey, this is the style of offense that we want. This is what we want you to call. It doesn't help that obviously the O-line is hurt. They can't block shit out there. But it doesn't help that Odell and Bateman are both out, even though there was nothing wrong with Bateman, apparently. I don't know why he missed another game. But even still, you've got Zay Flowers, you've got Mark Andrews, you've got Nelson Aguilar. It should be enough for you to not look just disjointed all the time. That's the Raven way.
It is the Raven way. I think for me, the issue that I have with what's going on is history seems to repeat itself with John Harbaugh all throughout his tenure, no matter what changes we make, because we've been through some offensive coordinators. We've been through some systematic changes, so to speak. But for me, just even like today, I think it reared its head where we found something that worked in this game. Like the Browns, with their number one defense, could not stop us running the ball. Like they couldn't. We just ran it, got a penalty, and I guess that may have been enough. Then we went back to the Greg Roman system of let's get away from what's working and try doing other things. And those things weren't working. You know that you have an offensive line that's decimated by injuries. You know that we don't have the wide receiving core that we thought we were going to have at the beginning of the season. Why don't you schematically come up with some plays that are actually going to work instead of saying, you know what? I'm smarter than you. So let me make up some genius plays that does this and does that. And it really doesn't do anything. Get back to what works and keep riding it till it doesn't work anymore. That is the philosophy I think that the team should go by. But as long as they're led by Jonathan Harbaugh, I think we're going to have these same offensive inconsistencies that we've seen since 2008.
Yeah, and Darius in the chat is talking about the whole third quarter was run, pass. And it reminds me, in Carolina today, it was just really apparent that they were going up to the line and just wasting every first down they had, just running into the Vikings defensive front, even though you can't block, right? And this is, I thought they did a really good job putting as a whole, but this is why I didn't want Frank Reich as the head coach. He was not one of my preferred hires. And older coaches are unbelievably conservative. And, it's always been to their team's detriment, but especially now when the younger coaches are far more aggressive. And you have guys in the league who go out there and are trying to actually score touchdowns on every possession. And then you have guys like Harbaugh, like Reich, who are just like, well, if we play conservative enough, we'll we kind of limit our mistakes and we'll squeak out wins. And particularly for a team like Carolina where you don't have enough talent. But even in Baltimore, that's going to hurt you more often than not.
Right.
But those guys are never going to change their mindset.
This is actually correct. And I think that's one of the reasons that Harbaugh hired Monken, because he didn't do any research on him. He was like, my sister says she good. I think she good. I think that we, and I could be wrong about, correct me if I'm wrong about this, Rodney, but I think we see a little bit of that in Kansas City. Not to the Ravens extent of it, but I think we see to the extent of when you have a offensive coordinator that stands up for his plays and his players, where you have an Eric Bieniemy that goes over with your man Riverboat Ron, and he actually has that offense looking a lot better than it was. And you can see Kansas City, on the other hand, struggling because they have Matt Nagy. He's come back to the fold with his Monken-like or Harbaugh-like approach, and they're just not performing like they used to. I just think that listen, I've said this before. John Harbaugh hires beta males that will do everything that he says. And if they can't follow, or if they can't fall in line, so to speak, he gets them out of there. And I think we need to go from the top down and start over.
Yeah, it needs to be a clean sweep in Baltimore. They need to get everybody out of there and just kind of shock themselves into a new way of thinking.
Right. Even though it's snowing it's snowing in that locker room where they got them locked up at. Because they're damn sure not out on the field. And Will G, it's Washington, D.C. Nobody cares.
I mean, is it a tough loss for them, or are they happy that they were that competitive?
I thought that they could win. Honestly, for some reason, out of all the teams, the Commanders give the Eagles the toughest time. I don't know why.
Listen, anybody can win any given Sunday. Like, that's why that's a saying. But they're not good enough to realistically beat the Eagles. But 31 on them, and particularly with that last, the end of the fourth quarter drive to tie it up. If I'm a Washington fan, I'd be pretty happy about the performance today, at least offensively. I'm not one of those people who says just extend the game at all costs. Like, if you're playing a better team, maybe go for that 2-point conversion and try and get that win, because you ain't going to beat them in the long haul. That's not how that works. But they put up 31. They're growing every week as an offense, and I'd be happy with that if I were a Washington fan. I certainly wouldn't have been expecting a win.
So what you're saying is that could have been the Ravens expanding their offense if we'd have hired Eric Bieniemy as our offensive coordinator.
The Ravens would be averaging like 35 a game had they hired Eric Bieniemy. Because I like Sam Howell. I do. You know that. I think he's very talented. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be, a good starter in the league. But he ain't Lamar Jackson. And they have better receivers over there.
This is facts.
Quarterback is the most important position, and he's one of the most dynamic players to ever play that position.
Facts. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, question: Lamar Jackson turning the ball over. He's turned the ball over at least one time in every game this season. Do you think this is an issue or a non-issue?
I mean, if it continues, it's an issue for sure. You can't obviously be turning the ball over every single game. Now, the good news for the Ravens is that he's not throwing interceptions. So it's not like this is just he's making poor decisions or he's inaccurate with the ball. Several of these fumbles have come from poor protection, and typically, quarterbacks don't really get blamed for fumbling the ball, because a lot of it happens in the pocket. A lot of it comes, from players that you're not really seeing. You get hit while you're trying to throw the ball, things like that. And nobody really expects you to hold on to it. But I don't think that it's something that will continue as long as Stanley and Linderbaum come back healthy, and the protection kind of ramps up to meet the rest of the team. Like, he should be fine. If he were throwing an interception every game, then I'd be more concerned.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's a non-issue as well. I've come to the Rodney Jose way of thinking. The man turns the ball over, but he has 4 touchdowns. 1 fumble, 4 touchdowns. I think we'll take that ratio every week.
It's sort of like wide receiver drops. Like, Terrell Owens dropped the ball a lot. But he is second in NFL history in touchdowns. So
this is facts.
It's probably all right.
This is facts. All right, before we move on, there are 48 people in.
Wow. The way you said, I thought you were saying before we get out of here, but okay.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
there are 48 people in here. Make sure if you are new, hit that like button, subscribe. If you are returning, appreciate you. So if you are new here, we do a loyalty point system, which you heard Brodney speak about early on. All you have to do is watch the video, watch the live stream. You earn points. If you comment, you get points. If you subscribe to the channel, you get points. If you join the Patreon, you get points as well. And if you donate like Corey H did to the channel, you get points. And at the end of each month, we give out a prize. Now, we have not come to the mega month yet. It could be this month, it could be next month, it could be the month after that. But the mega month prize is when there's going to be a big surprise and a really big drawing. But let's announce the winner from the last month. And of course, and it was a little bit closer than I thought because y'all weren't doing your job last month. I hate to say it. Y'all weren't. Y'all was slacking. I ain't gonna hold you. But last month's winner is September's loyalty points winner is Ferris Mutana. So,
congratulations, Ferris.
So I'm gonna tell you like this, Ferris. I'm tired of going into the after streams and Brodney asking you what you want for a prize. I already know what I'm gonna get you. Since you won back to back, I already know the prize that I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna send out for it tomorrow, I believe, and you should be getting it by the end of the week. So, listen, if you want to help support the channel, get these loyalty points however you can. Everything that you do helps. The likes, the shares, the views, everything helps me grow. Even though I'm not getting paid for it.
Why not? Hendo? Why are you not getting paid for it?
Because YouTube demonetized my channel.
Why would they do that?
Hey, listen, because they're haters. So, listen, let me tell you a story. Story time. Sorry. So, was at my job for 18 years. They released me. You get the little bit of shock and all, and just oh man, like I've been settled in this situation for so long. Like I'm so used to this, and I'm in a comfort zone. It happens. You get hit with the shock, but then you get over it. Then I found YouTube, or in the midst of this, I found YouTube. So I said, okay, I'm through the help of everybody out here that supports me, I'm making a little bit of a living off of it. That's keeping me comfortable in the float. Okay, I'm good. And then all of a sudden, once the money starts picking up, I lie to you not. When the money starts picking up, when I'm like, oh, there's a possibility I could do YouTube full time, possibly. YouTube looks and says, hey, that guy's making too much money. We don't like that.
That they do.
Wu-Tang chop. Hey, hit me with the Wu-Tang sword. And cut me off at the knees. So, with that, the last week or two, I've been just sitting here pondering all the things that I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is, because I've been doing a lot of research online, and I guess to try to help pay my bills and keep me afloat, I am going to start a website. And this website is going to be a little bit different from Patreon because it's actually going to be a website for creators. And I spoke about this in my last video. It's a website for creators where we all get together, share ideas, help each other, create thumbnails, titles. It's just going to be a community thing. It's a way for us all to thrive. So I think I'm going to do that so that I'm not so dependent upon YouTube to pay my bills, because at any time, just like Engraven and everybody else, they can just say, you know what, I don't like you today, cut you off, reapply in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. Now, with this new channel, there is going to be a discount. So like I said, it's in the works right now. If once I start to get things up and running, if you sign up, there's going to be a discount. If you are already a patron to this channel, you will get a discount. Like I said, this is a community we're building from the ground up. And I'm not just doing this just for me to succeed. And if anybody knows me, they know that I do everything for the collective. So anybody that comes with me from the ground up, we building this thing together. So I just wanted to get that out the way. So appreciate y'all. Make sure you sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/ROUG, or however you decide to support this channel and support myself, because I appreciate it. Like, what we built together is really strong. Without you, without this brother here, and I'm sorry, this brother here and his brother, I wouldn't be on the trajectory that I'm on right now. So I just want to say mad love to y'all and appreciate it.
And you're absolutely right. Like, if you enjoy what Hendo's doing, or any of us, anybody on YouTube, any creators that you particularly like, you come back, you watch the videos and everything, consider supporting monetarily, because YouTube, the second, like, over on our channel, over on Lunch Break Hot Take, everything was fine. We had sent in all of the documentation we needed to send in, and we got monetized. And once you get monetized, you have to hit a certain threshold before they pay you, right? So we're just, we got all happy, we got monetized, and we're just watching the kind of ad revenue. And once we hit the threshold to get our money, YouTube was like, "Nah, we can't send you your money." We're like, "Why?" "Oh, we need this, and this." And like, "We already sent you that." "We'll send it again." And we sent it again, and they're like, "Oh, nah, we can't send you your money. We need this, and this." Like, "I just sent you that." "We'll send it again." And this went on for about 6 months.
6 months.
YouTube will do pretty much anything they can to prevent you from getting your money. So it's really important for any creators to be able to earn money outside of YouTube ad revenue and super chats and things like that, because if you're dependent on YouTube is going to screw you every way they can. It's like a Mixer. I told you about Mixer before. It's a site like Twitch where people would go on there, they would stream video games and everything like that, and that's how a lot of people made their living. And then one day, people were streaming, and they found out from people in their chat that Mixer was shutting down the next day. They didn't get any notice, and their career was just gone. And if you're dependent on these companies, that's exactly how they'll do you.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, hey, this is exactly why we don't use, and then we may be penalized because we don't use super chats and we don't use the super stickers and all of those things. They may penalize us because we're not making them extra money. This is why we go through the pin link in the comments.
Yeah.
And we do our own thing. We don't have to wait to get monetized. But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, make sure if you want to support the channel, sign up for patreon.com. You get a lot of benefits and added bonuses. You can join our after party streams where we hang out and talk about things, not just sports. We talk about life, how to grow. We have financial literacy. You get live stream requests. And to you, Yolanda, no, only for new people. Live stream requests. I'm putting it out there right now. It's only for new patrons. Also, you can join the fantasy football that we have going on. We have the Pick'ems League. I'm the champ. I don't want to bring the belt out because I don't want Brian to get mad.
Yeah, all right. I think it's important, not to cut you off when you're gloating about stolen championships, but I think it's important that we bring awareness to people who are struggling. If you click on Chris's comment, he had a similar issue, he says, with his OnlyFans. So go to Twitter, hit up Chris Just Joking, hit that follow button, DM him, get that link, and get those numbers back up.
Get them numbers up. If you want a live show, Chris got that. Chris Just Joking. Twitter, Instagram.
I heard he'll you tip enough, he'll break down film like Chris Cooley back in the day. That's why. I mean, that's over there. I don't know why are you laughing.
Y'all are hilarious. Let's get back into this game. All right, Ryder, let me know who you have for your offensive player of the game.
Sir. Oh man, I mean, it has to be Lamar. And Lamar scored 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be Lamar.
I don't know. I guess for my offensive player of the game, I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to have to go with Lamar Jackson. That's enough. That is enough. I just wanted to keep playing. But yes, Lamar Jackson is my offensive player of the game. Like I said before, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Hey, he was just a man. He was the only offense that we really had. We had a couple of good runs by Justice Hill, a couple by Gus Edwards. Even your man Melvin Gordon got in the act, had a good run. He actually had a great third down catch over the shoulder, but I think that Lamar Jackson, without him, this team goes nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, B, who do you have for your defensive player of the game?
Yeah, I was gonna say possibly Roquan, but I remember that he actually doesn't do anything.
That's what they told us, right?
Yeah, he does nothing out there. So I'm gonna go actually with Patrick Queen, who he only had half the tackles of Roquan, but he did have a sack. He did have 3 tackles for loss and another hit. So I mean, he was getting he was penetrating and making plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. So I'm going with Patrick Queen for today.
Okay. All right. Agent E, what's going on? He says Patrick Queen as well. Listen, that one sack Patrick Queen had, it looked like they shot him out of cannon. Like they snapped the ball and he just was like, bang. So I give him credit for that. Now listen, Ravens flock or people that come into here and other chats, when you are a Ravens fan, if you give somebody props for what they did, it doesn't mean that you change your opinion about them. It means that you think highly of what they've done. Or if you make a negative comment as to something that they did, it does not mean that you hate them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because Ravens flock will sit there and be like, tell me you said something good about Patrick Queen. You said he was a bum. No, I said he was the wrong pick.
I know. You said he was a bum several times, but that's all right.
I did not say that.
Now, I don't know if you saw, but there was a very Kyle Hamilton-esque performance today. And that was from one Harrison Smith. Unfortunately, on the other side of the Panthers line, he had 14 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits.
Really?
They could not block White Shadow today.
White Shadow. Listen,
the last play when Carolina was down there with a chance to tie the game, send it to overtime, and they got down to 4th down, Harrison Smith was one-on-one with Carolina's top 10 left tackle and beat the man like he wasn't even there.
It's not like Harrison Smith. Like I started him. I took him off my injured list and started him today, so he got me some points.
Oh, well, congrats.
Appreciate it. Yes, all of these people were deserving of defensive player of the game, but I got somebody different. I think me and Malik, we have the same individual. I chose Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney had 2 tackles, 100 pressures, and 1,000 whiffs. I promise you. Listen.
Look at the determination in his eyes. He's like, I know I missed the last 1,000, but I got this one.
Listen, but 1,001 is going to be me, son. So listen, Jadeveon Clowney gets to the quarterback for some reason. I thought we were frustrated with Justin Houston. I thought Justin Houston had at least 4 or 5 sacks he could have had under his belt. Justin Houston misses at least 3 sacks a game. I'm sorry, Jadeveon Clowney misses 3 sacks.
Doesn't.
I'm sorry, Jadeveon Clowney misses 3 sacks a game. Like, what? I think he is one of the better players on our team, and hopefully Mike McDonald sees that he needs to start over David Ojabo when David Ojabo comes back. I know they're trying to bring him along and justify the 2nd round pick, but just to me, he has just been the overall better player. And I think he's one of the reasons that we actually get some sort of pressure on the quarterback.
I would love to see some Justin Houston near sacks right now.
Wow, Justin Houston, he not doing nothing for y'all? This is Stone right at the IT. I don't know why he runs to the sideline trying to score a touchdown. Like he's scared of scoring a touchdown.
He gets tired.
He did say he gets tired though. But that's on you for not being in better shape. I don't know. All right. Next.
No, man. Like if you don't finish the job, you ain't a baller.
Why not?
Like, if you hire somebody to paint your house and they only do 2/3 of it, you're like, man, fucking Da Vinci over here. Like, come on, man.
But if it's the best 2/3 you've ever seen, and the 1/3 that they left is in the back where nobody can see it.
What do you mean nobody can see it?
I mean, some people have the back of their
house.
Some people have the back of their houses facing the woods or something, and nobody really gets to see it. So at least the sides and the front popping.
Hey, Jadeveon Clowney, the best chef I ever seen, man. That chicken was almost done.
All right, you have a point there. But listen, when you come from the Baltimore Ravens school of non-sacks, we'll take whatever we can get. We have a Owe and a Dabo on our team. So we're not seeing any pressures, any sacks. No one set the edge. So we'll take what we can get.
Normally, I don't drink.
He's listen. His stress ball squeezing has increased to decrease that
I
stress.
told you I don't get stressed about this kind of stuff. Like when they're just not playing well, I'll just go do something else.
This is true.
Where Rodney Stanley was at.
I don't know who Rodney Stanley is, but Ronnie Stanley is on the injured list. Like he had a limited practice this week, but he just was not able to go. I know a lot of sector of the Ravens flock is like, listen, we need to trade Ronnie Stanley and get something for him. But what can you get for a former All-Pro, Pro Bowl left tackle that doesn't play a lot? What do you think you're going to get for him? I know that y'all think that we're going to get 2 first rounds and maybe the reincarnation of Barry Sanders, but it's not going to happen because y'all sitting out here talking about teams need to give us 2 seconds and a third for Tyler Huntley. Whatever y'all smoking, I need some of that.
Well, look, the Washington got a third and a fifth for Trent Williams, and they regret it every goddamn day. Because he had a bunch of injury issues, but he's the best left tackle in the league. Now, how about instead of taking it out on Ronnie,
right?
Saying get rid of Ronnie. Ronnie sucks. Why don't y'all talk to your training staff? Why don't y'all talk to your head coach and tell him to stop lying about people's injuries? Why don't you talk to the rest of the coach and say, hey, you know what? Maybe if he's not 100% healthy, don't put him back in the goddamn game. Why don't you let him get well and then let him play left tackle like you know he can? Because I'll tell you what, as somebody who just drafted a left tackle in the top 10, it's fucking hard to find a good one. Because that dude, he's getting our franchise quarterback killed.
Yeah, he is. That's why you need to let Andy Dalton get beat up.
No, they don't.
Let them take it out on the ginger.
Okay, well, I don't like the way that sounds. But also they can't tank. They don't have their first round pick.
No. I didn't say tank.
You said put Andy Dalton in, which is the exact same thing as saying let's tank.
On the season, in one game, who has the most passing yards?
Who played the worst defense?
You can only play who you put in front of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to play who in front of you. Yeah. All right. Anyway, currently, by the way, fun fact for you.
Okay.
Currently, the Chicago Bears have the number 1 and number 2 pick in next year's draft.
Who said what?
The Chicago Bears currently hold the number 1 and number 2 pick in next year's draft. So, in theory, they go out there and they can get themselves Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr.
This is a fact.
To put on the opposite side of DJ Moore. And that's if they want to move on from Justin Fields after having destroyed him.
They did.
Which I think would be a mistake. Just fire your coaches and get some offensive coaches in there.
Listen, I never understood why you would pick a defensive-minded head coach and bring in a rookie quarterback, because it never works out well. It never really works out.
Which scheme is Ronnie Stanley not good for?
Who the hell is Rodney Stanley? He gets no respect at all, I tell you. No. They're too young to know about that. All right, let's move on to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me know from this game, Brian, what you thought was good, what you thought was bad, and what possibly could have been ugly, because we won the game, so nothing could be ugly, right?
The defense was good.
Okay.
I would say the ugly was the O-line and their protection. The bad, we'll go with Lamar fumbling.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh no, these are just representations.
Yeah, no, but you put John like real close up on the bad there, and
my bad.
He doesn't look like he appreciates it.
So should I have made the ugly, because the ugly are the Ravens draft picks? Should I have made that bigger, closer, so people knew that were the actual EDC draft picks for the ugly, but not for this game? Just
hey, Jerry, do you want to ask the actual host of this channel if he would like me to leave or you?
It's not what we do over here, sir. We don't do that. We don't call out names and disrespect people. That ain't what we do. So we'll do that. Anywho, apologize. What's up, Jay Bears?
What? Why you?
Why
you put that up? It's all kinds of inappropriate.
You know what? I just saw the Jets. I didn't even see the rest of it. And I'm sitting here doing something else. Jam Bear. That's my bad. I wasn't even paying attention. Jam Bear. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? I mean, if you mean like, you know, a vegan Caesar salad.
They're losing 17-0.
Facts.
In the first.
No. Hobbs is not for the bad. That's just a picture. It's just a representation. Because actually, for my bad, I had the injuries. The injuries are decimating this team. It's like every game that we play. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, facts, Jose. Jerry gonna learn today. We don't play that. We don't play none of that shit. Like we laugh and we joke, but
you know what's? I mean, look, this is gonna sound bad.
Oh god,
and I recognize that, but
okay.
you know what's good about the injury? Not necessarily good, but a silver lining to the injuries. Each consecutive week that it happens, the injuries are less impactful. Because I mean, Arthur Millette went out for a bit, and it's like, all right, you know. It's probably okay.
When you put it that way.
No offense to Arthur Millette, and we don't want to see anybody get hurt, but you ain't lose Marlowe today, you know. So it's probably all right.
All right, for my good, the Ravens won the game, and they are now 2-0 in the division. So that's my good. The bad, like I said, is the injuries. They just continue to pile up. My ugly. Did you give your ugly?
Yeah, I said the O-line.
Oh, my ugly is going to be the offensive situation. I don't think that we're learning from the past, and we are
That's
continuously
what we're calling Todd Monken now. It's the offensive situation.
Yes, the offensive situation. This is Pulp Fiction. The offensive situation. I don't think that we learn from the past. Running Lamar early and often only leads to injuries later in the season. Like, I don't know how many times you can run that power O or smash concept with your quarterback at the goal line. Yes, it gets you touchdowns. Yes, it makes you look good because you're going with what we know. We're going with what is successful for us. But down the line, these hits are taking its toll on Lamar. Somebody asked a question, I think, in Coach's stream the other day. Does Lamar look like he's slowing down? Like, does he look slower than he did 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Considerably. And it's because of these unnecessary hits that he's taken. I think that, listen, when we try to break habits and we try to do other things, it's cool. It's new, it's fresh. Like, you want to build, you want to grow. But when you start getting in situations and getting in ruts, you go back to what you know. And what the Ravens know is run Lamar. So if Lamar gets hurt, game 10, game 11, all the Ravens fans are going to be like, what do we pay him all this money for? But nobody's going to look at the fact that with our offensive situation, we're continuously putting everything on his shoulders. We're looking for him to pass the ball and be perfect. We're looking for him to be the leading rusher in the game. And I don't think that it's fair to put all of this on his shoulders. And I put that on John Harbaugh. And that's why this is an ugly situation, because you can change the name of the coordinator, but if you don't change the design of the scheme, it does not make a difference and nothing changes.
Yeah. I can give you some silver linings there for Baltimore, though. No, this is a good one. It's the fact is that the AFC North, they're not who we thought they were. So Lamar's probably not going to be playing in those end of the season games anyway, because Baltimore is going to win this division going away. So he won't. I don't think he'll get injured. I think that he's going to have more time off because they will have wrapped up the division late in the season. Now, as far as Carolina, this is kind of an opposite direction of what it's like. Like I said with Bryce Young, I think he's shown that he has the ability. He's very intelligent. He's very accurate. And the big thing for me is that he is athletic. And he can get away from the pressure. He can make plays with his feet, but he's not so athletic that he's tempting the coaching staff into just running him into the ground to accelerate the progress of the team. and they're just kind of having to just sit with, hey, we can't run our quarterback, so we actually have to improve the rest of what's going on around him. And Lamar, unfortunately, didn't have that. As soon as they put him in the game, that this is his 6th year, and they put him in, and they're just like, we don't really need to worry about developing him as a passer. Even though he is very good at that, but like that's not been a concern of the Ravens coaching staff because they can just run him. And yeah, like you were saying, it does lead to shorter careers. It leads to diminishing of skills earlier than would otherwise be the case, because they're running him more than any quarterback almost in history.
Yep. Didn't you do that stat?
I did last week. He's played half of the number of games that Cam Newton has played, who is the all-time leader in quarterback rushes. And Cam had a bit over 1,100 for his career. And Lamar, halfway to the number of games played that Cam Newton has, is over 700. I think he's over 750 now. So he's going to blow by Cam Newton. Also, if you look at the rushes per game, he's over 10 a game for his career.
That's like number 3.
Number 3 all time. The other two played in the 30s.
10 to 12. They only played like 10 to 12 games apiece.
That as well. But they retired in 1943 and 1940. And they were named things like Lehman Tuffy. So y'all need to stop running Lamar before you don't have Lamar anymore.
Right. And I wonder why he breaks down. Same thing happened. Like I know you say this all the time. Some people may not see you, but you say this all the time. The same thing happened to Cam Newton. The same thing. Cam Newton was a star. Yeah. Cam Newton was an MVP, should have won the Super Bowl, and they ran Cam so much that his body just broke down on him. Yeah. And what do you and he's bigger than Lamar is.
He is. He's much, much bigger. He's built like a tank. And granted, he had the major injury with his shoulder, but they forced him to play through that as well. They he wasn't even the kind of runner who would avoid contact. He would run into it. And they were just like, man, keep doing it. Keep it going. So we don't have to get an O-line. We ain't got to get receivers. We got Cam. And that's why it fell apart so quickly.
Right. All right. Almost close to the last segment. Stock up, stock down. Do you feel that there are any players in this game whose stock has risen and whose stock has fallen, in your opinion?
It's kind of a tough one because not really. You know what? I'm going to say stock up Brandon Stevens because I think he's gotten a raw deal from Baltimore, like a lot of players have. But I think that he is putting in all the work, and I think he has the ability to play corner if they would just leave him alone. Right. But he did get a nice interception and a 50-yard return today, so that's nice to see for him to get a win like that. So I'm going to say stock up on Brandon Stevens. Let him stay in that, and just playing corner and let him learn it, and I think you'll have a pretty decent one. Stock down. The Ravens O-line, because I saw that Morgan Moses got hurt as well. He's getting an MRI tomorrow. And, I don't think that Morgan Moses is particularly good, but
facts.
Probably not going to be great if both of your starting tackles are out.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. As for me, for my stock up, I'm going to go with Kyle Van Noy for my stock up. Just signed recently this week. He was the pressure and the pass rush that the Ravens needed. He actually blocked a couple of passes. I think he did extremely well for a guy that just came in and learned the system. Also, the aforementioned Arthur Millette, I think he played really well. He had the tip that led to Brandon Stevens getting his first interception. Also, shout out to my man, Ronald Darby, Florida State. He may not be who he was, but he is a solid tackler, something that I think that this team is missing in the defensive backfield. Now, as far as my stock down goes, I think I'm going to go with John Harbaugh, and we've already mentioned the reasons why, because he's just not a good coach to me personally. And we don't need to rehash that. So my real stock down is going to go to whomever you are, I don't know if you're there. Whomever you are with that hoodoo curse on the Ravens, please stop. I beg you, please take it off. I'm tired of the injuries. I'm tired of
coming from inside the building, and
I couldn't care less where you are. Please stop it. Goodness gracious, every week.
no.
What happened?
I got a draft.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. It's Dynasty Basketball League.
You are the worst, sir.
I'm not the worst.
Appreciate you.
Why am I the worst?
Because you just forgetting drafts and stuff, man. Well,
It didn't send an alert.
Oh, what time does the draft start?
In 4 minutes.
All right, well, then we need to get up out of here so you can get your draft. All right, so let's get to these injuries. The injuries, Morgan Moses, like we spoken of earlier, he had a shoulder injury and left the game. I don't know his status as of right now. Daryl Worley, he went out with a shoulder. I don't know how he hurt his shoulder because it looked like he just reached up and then he just grabbed for it. Jalen Armour Davis, I think he left the coffee shop and pulled a hamstring because I promise you I did not see that man in the game. I haven't seen that man really all season long except for on the sidelines laughing and joking. Don't know how the hell he pulled his hamstring. If you know, let me know because I did not see this man enter the game one time. Maybe going to get the water, he pulled a hamstring. I really don't know.
It's not nice. It's not nice at all.
It really isn't. All right, and now we're going to check. We're going to end this going into the AFC North standings. The AFC North standings as of right now, the Baltimore Ravens are 3-1 leading the division. They're 2-0 in the division, followed by Cleveland, who is 2-2, 1-2 in the division. The Pittsburgh Steelers that are also 2-2, who just lost their starting quarterback. Kenny Pickett injured his ankle. I don't know if he's going to be available for the Baltimore Ravens game next week, but they are 1-0 in the division. And the hapless Cleveland Browns, who are 1-3 and 0-2 in the division. They lost to the Tennessee Titans, and they did not look good whatsoever. So that threat from the Cleveland Browns, I think, is gone for the moment. And I'm sorry, the Cincinnati Bengals is gone for the moment. In Cleveland, I don't really know what really to expect from them because I did not see them with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. So I don't know how we match up together because DTR just didn't provide any resistance during this game whatsoever. Like he overthrew, he was late. I don't know. So I really don't know what Cleveland has. And with the unfortunate situation with Nick Chubb, now that can make me cry. I could cry off that one. I could cry off the Nick Chubb thing. You would really see a real tear. With the Nick Chubb situation, I think those two things, we don't know what the real Cleveland is. And with Pittsburgh self-imploding, but they do have Mike Tomlin.
I feel like we know what the real Cleveland is. You know.
But so my thing with Cleveland is this. Cleveland used to be really good. Really good. I think they won like 10 straight titles. Or they won 8 out of 10 titles.
And then they started worshiping that woman beater. And then they haven't been good since.
Yeah, maybe they cursed too. Maybe they've been cursed as well. So yeah, right now I think we are in the driver's seat. I think our only enemy or our biggest enemy is going to be us. And I think we should have this division wrapped up. After the Steelers game, we travel to London, which is an Achilles heel for us to play the Tennessee Titans. We have the Christmas Day game against the 49ers. We have the game against the now beatable Dolphins. I just don't know when we're actually going to see real competition because for me, this doesn't tell me anything. And I've said this time and time again. I don't really care what happens in the regular season. The only thing that matters to me is the playoffs. We can look bad during the regular season. We can look good during the regular season. What matters is how far do we go once we hit that playoff push. So that's my only concern. No, Jeremy, I don't have my tickets. Y'all don't love me enough to pay for me to go over there. You all were supposed to pay for me, Jose, Brodney, OTR Mike, and Coach and Chris to go to London. I have yet to receive a penny.
Speaking of, I'm gonna need 3,500 by January 1st. I don't feel like I should have to tell you what it's for, but I will. It's for one of those Apple VR headsets that's coming out. So, you know, Christmas is coming as well as my birthday. Dig deep, people.
It is. Yes, it is coming up. My birthday's coming up too.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're both Capricorn, so.
I mean, why you got to jump on my thing though? Like, you know, can't you? Just like, wait, let me make my announcement, and then, you know, some other day you can talk about your birthday.
Respectfully, I'm gonna need you to back up. Respectfully, sir. All right. So since you got your thing going on, and we got Sunday night football, and I really just want to get off of here because now I'm depressed.
Yes,
Right,
Jeremy.
that's right. Listen, we end the year and we begin the year. So yes, I don't know if I like VR. So if you donate $3,500 to the channel, PO Box 1111111, we'll find out if I like VR.
Don't waste it on Hendo.
Yeah, you're right.
Man
right,
still
Brandon.
uses notebooks. What are you gonna do with VR? Shit all organized and everything.
I'm saying, what am I supposed to do? But listen,
Embarrassing.
am I supposed to look at my phone?
Yeah, use your phone.
Then if I look at my phone, then I need my glasses. Then I put my glasses on.
Oh,
I don't want to do
Lord.
that. Well,
God
glasses
damn it.
on.
Come on, Jose.
What did he do?
He took Luca.
Oh, y'all started your draft, so you doing this on camera? All right, Brandon.
I mean, where am I supposed to do it, Hendo? Where else am I supposed to do it? I told you 15 minutes. That's what I said to you.
Can you let the people know what you got going on, Brady?
How many minutes we been here, Hendo?
Can you let the people know what you got going on,
Chris, who was supposed to be here at the top of the hour.
Top of the hour, Chris. Top of the morning to you.
Anyway. Yeah, you can find me over on Lunch Break Hot Take every Wednesday evening, 7:15 p.m. We do the LBHT show. Follow that up with the Overtime show for patrons. You can also find me on Monday nights at 9 p.m. over on Sip to Tally Films with Hendo, with Jose, with OTR Mike, with Chris, doing the Ravens Roundup. On Tuesdays, you can find me over on Suge Knight 323 doing the Steel Conspiracy, which is a Ravens and Steelers show. Not sure why I'm on there. Whatever. That's fine. And then anytime there's a big-time boxing event, you can find us over on Ring Kings Podcast, streaming in the middle of the night for no good reason.
Yes, it was.
But it's a lot of fun. You should go over there and subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Let's get them to 1,000 subscribers. Speaking of other channels, I myself have another channel, and I think that I may release it tomorrow. It's kind of like a trivia. It's a trivia type channel. I have a couple of videos out, and it's not like that type of trivia. So if you are into Game of Thrones, it's a Game of Thrones-ish type show, and it's a guessing game. So I think I'm going to launch it tomorrow, possibly. I'm not for certain as of yet, but we will see. Also, you can find me, like he said, tomorrow night, Sip to Tally, Coach Evans. You can also find me on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. with my man, Mr. Galloway, on Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, talking all things hip-hop, especially old school hip-hop, because we don't care nothing about what these young kids got to say today. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to hold you. Like, we just don't really care because I don't understand what it means. I don't understand. I really don't. And Chris, listen, if Brady wants to sit here with you and y'all want to do 2 hours, I will gladly give the controls over to one of you gentlemen, and I will do what I got to do. Because screw you guys, I'm going home.
So, not sure. All right, I got Anthony Edwards.
And on that note, we are out.